There is very profound emphasis in Bhagavad Gita about the concept of Nishkam karma. Nishkam, because Kam or passion is a mode of Rajas, and Rajas is a mode of Karmani or activity. So when you have passionful activity, there is always an ulterior motive as to why we are pursuing the activity. It can be the outcome, the result, the rewards we reap from the activities that we perform. So there has to be either a monetary component or a financial, relationship, emotional. There has to be some sort of gratification coming from doing something. You can do something for your kids, you feel gratified and satisfied. You do something for your wife, you feel there will be compliments. You do something for your boss, you feel there will be a reimbursement, a bonus coming. So there's always some sort of reward that is attached to that activity, and that activity is said to be in the mode of Sakam Karma. Now, when you are born on earth as a human being, most likely the most profound guna that is surrounding you is Rajas. You are not able to see the balance of Sattva, and of course, if you are sinking too deep, then you go into the extremity analog of tamas. But most of the times you are pursuing activities and you have a body, shari vak mano bhijat karm prarabte nara. So whatever activities a human being does through sharir, the body, the vak and the man, which is the mind. So thought, speech, action are the three realms in which activities are done, and these are usually fueled by the fire of Rajas. So now you know that you do activities in Rajas. What is the result of doing activities in Rajas? It is very simple. It is basically Rajo Ragatmaka Vidhi Trishna Sang Samudbhavan Tanvante Kante Kam Sangen Dehina. Rajo Ragatmaka Vidhi Trishna Sang Samudbhavan. The Raj Gun will create Rag, the Rag of passion, and that creates Vidhi Trishna Sang Samudbhavan. It is going to create mind of attachment, Sangha, and that Sangha slowly will create Trishna or delusions, and delusions is a mode of tamas. So excess of Rajas will get you in tamas, the extremity realm. First, Rajas is a rocky force which is changing the status quo, but if you do too much of the Rajas, it will lead you back into tamas, either of the polarities, but it will lead into tamas, the excess realm. So that itself leads to karm sangen dehina, that is binding the body to work. That is why you will work a lot when you are a Rajasic person. You will see all these people who have hyperactivity of the Manipura, the solar chakra, the third chakra, that is the ambition chakra. All the politicians, artists, all these people are fired by the fuel of Rajas. They are full of adrenaline junkies. They are full of energy to do stuff. So that is the passionful Sakam karma. Now, when you turn, that is the normal mode of a successful person in this world. But that is materialistically successful, not spiritually successful. Spiritually successful person turns the karma into Nishkam karma, and that is the first stage of development of yog or union with Paramatman. So if you want the Atman to merge into the Paramatman, then you have to leave the Prithvi Lok, because Prithvi Lok is a loka of activity. So you see, first you have to create perfection in activity, and perfection in activity is Nishkam karma, not Sakam karma. Sakam karma is materialistic success. You are looking for spiritual success. That is the perfection in activity. That is the perfection in yoga. The first stage of perfection in yoga is Nishkam karma. So the Nishkama means doing your activity, dispensing your activity without any expectation of rewards in return. When you go to work, you have no expectations. When you do something for your kids, you have no expectations. When you do something for your wife or parents, you have zero expectations. If you are of that mindset of zero expectations, you're not encumbering the karma. You're not encumbering the universe with a reward in return. And when you don't expect a reward in return, your activity becomes flawless, perfect. And that is how you get Nishkam karma. That is how you get the first stage. You know, there are three modes of reaching God. I have told about Bhakti Yog, KarmaYog, and DhyanYog. The KarmaYog is the path for a person with a perfect body, capable of doing activities, and a pure mindset, which is devoid of desires and attachments. A pure mind is a mind which is totally focused on the process without profits, totally focused on the activity and the flow of the activity rather than the outcome of the activity, rather than the desires and the attachments. That is purity. Devoid of desires and expectations, devoid of the consequences, of the fear of the consequences, or the expectation of rewards from the consequences. That is purity. Always focused on the process, not the profits. So, when you can dispense activities from a body that is able to work with a pure mind, you obtain Nishkam Karma. And that is why Yam Sanyas Samiti Prahu Yogam Tam Vidhi Pandava Na Ya Sanyas Sankapo Yodhi Bhavti Kaschan. What is known as sannyas is not different from yoga. For no one can become a yogi without renouncing the worldly desires. If you want the Atma to merge into the Paramatma, then you have to cross the seven lokas. Abrahma Bhuvan Loka Punaravarturajun Mampetu tu Konte Punarjana Vidyate. So to move the Atman into the realm of the Paramatman, which is going into the Vaikuntha that is beyond the Brahma Lok, you have to give up the desires. The desires and attachments are the like a leash. A dog has a leash around the neck. You have the desires and attachments around your neck. And that is tying you to planet Earth. That is why you are not able to bounce off into the higher lokas. The Bhuvar Lok, the Swarg Lok, the Jan, Meher, Tap, and then going to the Satya Lok or Brahma Lok through the Vaikuntha. So you have to break these shackles of desires and attachments, because Yam Sanyas Samiti Prahuryogam Tam Vidhi Pandava Na Hiya Sanyas Sankalpo Yogi Bhavti Kaschan. What appears to be I should say, no one can become a perfect yogi without renouncing the desires. And once you have perfected that, Nishkam Karma, the lower level, because that is the first step that we have to perfect. First you work, and then you work with Nishkam. So you have this selfless, without any reactionary, fruitive activities. The work you do becomes Nishkam Karma. Once you have attained Nishkam Karma, you are ready for DhyanYog. So perfection in KarmaYog is utterly important before you become a Dhyan Yogi. Becoming a Neem Karoli is utterly important before you become Ramana Maharishi. That is very important. You cannot just jump into Dhyan Yoga. You will fail at Vipassana. You will fail at contemplative medication. You will fail at solitude, because you haven't exhausted the Karma Indriyas, the Jnanendriyas through in the fire of work. If you first sacrifice yourself in the fire of work, then you convert the Sakam Karma into Nishkam Karma, and the Nishkam Karma into there's no Karma. When there is no Karma, there is DhyanYog. That is why Arjun needs to perfect the activity of Nishkam Karma. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karm phal hetu bhurmarte sangosto karmani. Tu कर्म किए जा, फल की चिंता ना कर. तो इसीलिए first step is to perfect the activity. Arjun is at that stage. That's why he says, oh, I want to become a sannyasi. I want to just retire and become a sage. No, you haven't done the work. Not in your past life, not in this life. So first activity is to do the activity, and then is to do without any expectation or rewards and returns, which is Nishkam Karma. Once you have purified your Rajas force, then you can give away the Rajas and go into Sattva. Then you can become Mahavatar Baba. Then you can become a Ramana Maharishi. Then you can become a very realized sadhu. But to go to Meher and Jan Lok, that is the, like Meher Lok is the Lok of Rishis, the realized Rishis, you have to first cross the pleasure abode of the Swarg or the Bhuvar Lok, where the Siddhis are there. So you see how things are moving slowly, gradually upwards. You become lighter and lighter because you're doing Dhyan Yoga at higher levels. You're not activities. You're not doing any activities. You don't need to do any activities. Then you can relish in the solitude of the self, the Atma merging with the Paramatma. Then you can enjoy Samadhi. You will never understand Samadhi unless you perfect the activity of Nishkam Karma. That is why do yagya dan tapo karma natyajamiti karme vyat. Never never abdicate the activities of yajna, dan and tap. Yajna meaning sacrifice, dan means philanthropy, charity, and tap means austerity. Keep doing these activities because they purify your mind, they purify your work complex, they convert your sakam karma to nishkam karma, and that prepares you for the next step of solitude, where you can do dhyan yoga, where you can sit uninterrupted for hours and enjoy the peace of mind, the tranquility of the nature, the combination of the consciousness with the super consciousness or the Atma or the Paramatman. So, my friends, Aru Rukshor Muner Yogam Karamuchate, Yoga Rudasita Shama Karamuchate, for the novice, what is the benefit of Nishkam Karma? The same benefit the realized sannyasi, the higher evolved rishi, obtains through Dhyan Yoga. But you cannot just jump into solitude of Dhyan Yoga and Samadhi without perfecting Nishkam Karma, which is the first step of doing Yajna, Dan and Tap, sacrifice, charity and austerity to cleanse your Indriyas. Jai Shri Ram.